GMs. Happy Friday to you guys. Great to see you. Man, vibes. The vibes are there. And a special guest here. So we're bringing the vibes here. Randy, founder. What other little letters do you have next to your name? Founder, CEO? You got any other letters we can throw there?
The first dipshit? I don't know.
Well, dude, one of the earliest, you told me this too, like one of the first like just whales out there too, like on the NFT side. And I don't know if you ever like were super deep into the trenches, like trading meme coins, but there weren't even really meme coins like years and years ago. It almost didn't exist, right?
No, it would have been like, I got in right after all of the crap ICOs. Yeah. So no, I've never been a trader. Like I'm a collector. So, no.
Well, Choina's in the chat here.
I'm not a trader.
Okay. I have a goal of, I don't want to change a man, but I want to inch you towards it a little. Just it's so fun, man. We'll see. We'll see how I do on that. I still don't think I've gotten you.
Shit on it. I'm like, I think it'd actually be good for me sometimes to, I watch you and then, other guys on the team, and it is, it's reflected in the product and everything we do. You can tell like it just injects more passion into everything we're doing. Like, yeah, where's the meme coin tracking on CryptoSlam? If the bald guy were in the meme coins, do you think we would have that?
That's it's a really good point. It's a really good point.
Discussion. Like the last thing I want to do is go copy what everybody else is doing. It's just not in the DNA. But as you know, there's certainly big fun changes right around the corner. So
yeah. Okay, well that's exciting too. All right, so let me set the stage a little here for you guys. I don't think we're going to reveal anything today, but you never know. But I want to get the team on more and more just to talk what we already do, the news, the space, the market, the action, and just get more perspectives here live. I mean, you have some experts in the industry that are all kind of surrounding the CryptoSlam name, the family. It's you guys as the community, it's us as the team building, and it's just time to keep opening that up and sharing more of these insights here. So that's what we're doing here today. Randy will be with us, I don't know, maybe the first half or so, whatever we can have you for.
I've got to jump to a meeting, unfortunately. But, well, actually, fortunately, it's a good meeting. So
it sounds like a good one.
Yes, tied to the fun stuff. So
yeah, all right, good shit. Choina GMs, Boss GMs, Barry, Cosmos, Six Hole, Ben. Good morning, guys. Smash the like. Make sure you're subscribed here. By the way, too. A little tease there just a moment ago that there is some really cool stuff coming, stuff that you've gotten little insights into over the past few weeks, maybe past few months, but some big announcements getting ready to be unveiled. And I would say I think it's pretty well locked in for next week. So you don't want to miss it. Make sure you're subscribed here at SlamX Official over on YouTube. It's SlamX.io over on X. And, of course, CryptoSlam.io also over on X. Be following along for all of that. Of course, I'll keep you plugged in here. Man, let's kick it off with this, and I am excited to chat with you just about, the market, Randy, but also just kind of what's happened this week with the election, how it's kind of changed everybody's outlook for crypto, and it's happening, behind the scenes. I've talked about it this week, too. Investors, builders, whatever. It's something has changed this week. Like a flip has been switched or a gate has been opened up, and everybody is just really excited to engage crypto again. And all of a sudden, we've been watching the Google search trends for Bitcoin, right? And it's been almost all-time low, like incredibly low. And at the same time, we look at the price of Bitcoin, we're like, something doesn't add up here, because Bitcoin is damn near all-time high on a regular basis, day-to-day basis. I don't know, 5-10% away, which we can knock that out in a day. And again, the search trends are incredibly low until now. Until now, dude, look at this. All of a sudden, people are really starting to wake up to Bitcoin. And it's like a lot of us thought all-time high will do that. For whatever reason, all-time high is what really starts attracting people. So we knew it. I think a lot of us here have been planning for it. And that moment is just starting to happen right now. So that's clear as day. I think we're looking at, this is a 5-year view. And so you get that kind of perspective, how interest right now is matching up to previous times. Look, we're not even halfway. We're probably halfway to where we were back in March of this year, which was fun, short-lived but fun. And again, comparing it to 2022, going back even further, nowhere close to being near the peak of what we saw then. So exciting stuff coming. Man, how do you feel? We don't have to get political really, but how do you feel about how things are changing just as of this week with Trump winning the presidency and what that opens up for crypto? And you probably have like really unique insights into that.
Well, go back to that graph. Like that Bitcoin graph. I don't think we will, and this kind of leads into my answer. We're not going to hit that, what was in 2021. And that's not a bad thing, because think of what was going on in 2021. It was like NFTs had just exploded, right? Like that. Yeah, that was when things were really rocking and rolling. But anyway, my point is now we've got so much more than just, hey, invest in this store of value, this gold alternative, instead of your Apple and Tesla stock. That's what was happening in 2021. It woke people up. I think everybody's woken up at this point. So now, yeah, like it's going up, and that's good. But I don't expect that to be ridiculous. What I do expect to be ridiculous is all the Web3 applications and tokens that have, are the good ones that are offshoots of that. So to the whole, how do I answer the political thing? My son, he's 15. This is on election night. He comes in and he's like, "Hey, yeah, Dad, like Trump's winning. Look at this." And he shows me Polymarket on his phone. Polymarket, and I'm like, Polymarket, where did we don't necessarily shop all that much, if honestly at all. They're like, yeah, my buddy at school, showed it to me. So anyway, I just bring that up because he didn't even know it was crypto.
Right.
He did not know. It had just jumped over the line, like into the, young mainstream, that like this is the place to go for the pulse. And then I don't know how you followed the progression that evening, but I had the TV on to listen, but then I also had the prediction markets right there. And the prediction markets, it's so unbelievable how they took all the information. And if you were just watching like one network, you got like a certain chunk of information, but then there's something else happening somewhere else. Well, the prediction markets, people are betting with their money. They're not going to mess that up. And if somebody does, you've got somebody else to come in and take that. And that's what causes the price movement. So Anyway, the point is, like, it was unbelievable how well it tracked, like how the night was going.
Dude, shocking. Like, everybody has known for many years at this point that polls, maybe they don't work anymore. And maybe that's like, put the tinfoil hat on. Maybe that's on purpose. Maybe it's by design what they're showing and when and all that stuff. Or maybe they're just broken and it took the right solution to come along, which is these prediction markets. But it's similar to how we knew traditional media didn't work anymore. And it was also broken. And we're seeing these kind of things take off at the same time, which is these new media platforms like X. It is new, even if it's Twitter and it's been around forever. But people tuning into that for their news felt like it got legitimized like in a really big way just with the election. To your question though, like I watched it. I had multiple streams up. I was watching some YouTubers that I like. I like to watch guys far left, and then I watched some far right, and then I put on some mainstream news. I probably had on 3 or 4 different streams all at once. Which do you focus on one stream, or do you have like multiple little feeds coming in? Because there's something about you degens there. I know a lot of you guys had probably 3-4 feeds coming through.
I had the fam with me, so it was just one stream. It wasn't actually. It was fairly intense, but not too much. And
then the X feed for a lot of people is also up, and then Polymarket, like you said, is also another. There was a key resource, and also interesting. My son, same thing, like you said with yours. My son asked me. He walks in the door one day after school. He's like, "Dad, what's Polymarket?" And again, same thing. I'm like, "Holy shit! Like holy shit! Like this is us making it." Oh my God. Okay, I put in the title here. in the show somewhere. Plan to retire the Bloodline, something like that, because it's kind of what's coming. I mean, I'm that bullish about what's coming here in this cycle here. And so I told him, I just put in the chat, that's the new WAGMI, right? WAGMI is what everybody was screaming last cycle. This time, I think it's retire the Bloodline. So there you go. Yeah, he had to look that up. Even WAGMI he had to look up global. I'm glad you know now. That's what it means. It means I think we're gonna have a fun time here over the next year or two. Dude, maybe I'll ask you that. Like everybody likes talking cycles. Like these 4-year cycles for crypto or whatever, and we even do it on the show, is asking guests, what are they predictions for peak Bitcoin price and when? Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you think we follow a traditional cycle? This is something that ends next year. Do you think, and this is going by maybe you talking to people behind the scenes as a builder, is there like any sense or belief that the growth we're about to see like supersedes a cycle? That this isn't something that just ends next year?
I know that there was a lot of wait and see for the election. It started to get baked in maybe in October, where I think people started seeing the writing on the wall and perhaps started making decisions, assuming what ended up happening was going to happen. So it just, make no mistake, like it was a key lever. Now predictions on how big of a lever it is, I have no idea, but everything changed. It really did. And it wasn't, I shouldn't say it was overnight, because I think it was expected on many levels. It just needed to be confirmed. It was so unanimous within, I shouldn't say unanimous, but it felt unanimous within Web3, like, this was some movement that needed to happen for our industry. So anyway, it's going to help. Just don't know how much.
Yeah, it feels that way. As far as why people are so interested, yes, of course, it's the all-time high price. That's a big part of it, and will continue to be. And it's going to drive a lot of, a lot of action here in the space. But it's a lot of good news that's been breaking all of a sudden too. Yesterday news that Detroit's going to be now officially the largest city to accept crypto as payments for taxes, other city fees. Huge. They're not the first, but again, they're now the biggest, and the dominoes are falling, and at some point they will all be accepting crypto. Wild that we'll have a president who has a DeFi platform, is launching a stable coin, who certainly wants to see this kind of thing happen. So more and more, and these are things that grab attention. These are things that are driving those search trends, but also starts driving, some of that buying action. It's wild. Of course, conversations about the U.S. wanting to hold this strategic reserve of Bitcoin. Again, that is driving the conversation too. That is driving people to search for Bitcoin. It's legitimized in a different way now when it's talked about like this. Right now, the U.S. government holds almost 1% of the supply. And I think the plan is, I don't know if this is Trump's plan, by the way, or if this is like Cynthia Loomis's proposal, but that we buy 200,000 Bitcoin a year for the next 5 years, all the way up to 1 million Bitcoin to put in the strategic reserve, which is super, super exciting to hear that. But all of a sudden, it's driving maybe, probably wrong word, but FOMO all around the world. And to some degree, I think it does. Chinese media yesterday was reporting on exactly that. Again, Trump wanting to have this as an asset in our strategic reserve. And to some degree, are other countries going to want to play catch up, right? You can't let these guys hold that kind of control over the supply. And I don't know. That gets me excited about what could be coming. Again, when I think of does this cycle end next year, I don't know with stuff like this starting to happen. And honestly, who knows? Who knows? Nate Geraci always says this, Randy, when he talks about the ETFs and how people got so wrong what the demand would be out there for it. And he tweets off and he's like, nobody knows. Nobody knows anything out there.
Is he coming back on again soon?
He has to, at the very least, one more time. I want him on regularly, and I think he will, but he has to come on one more time. Actually, you do too, because once you're on 3 times, you get a nickname on the show. So he's going to get ETF God. That's going to be his nickname on the show.
Get us on together, because he lives like right down the road.
Dude,
we're
yes.
both city guys, and I've known him for like 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
He's definitely cooler than I am, but we would have fun.
He's freaking awesome. You are too. Nate's he's fun. I don't know what I was picturing ahead of time, like, because I picture somebody who's been on TV and I'm just not that kind of guy. I'm so detached and so like inexperienced with like TradFi stuff. I'm way out of my league talking to this guy.
In TradFi, like you've seen some, like he'll be on CNBC and I don't know where all he's been. A lot. I see screenshots all the time. Like he's, I'm impressed by his crystal ball. That's the guy to ask for predictions because he went well with Bitcoin because he's nailed it. There he is.
There's a great prediction right there. Prediction: Gary Gensler joins a crypto-related firm post-Trump inauguration. That's a great prediction. Let's see how that plays out, but wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, like if that were on Polymarket right now, I would take the yes just because Nate predicted it. I've got that kind of confidence in his crystal ball.
Yeah. Well, let's get that rocking. Let's
get his background. Like he was into ETFs when ETFs were barely a thing. His company ETF store, and that's how we got to know each other a long time ago. So he like total OG, and anyway, he's followed it from its infancy all the way up to what's happening now.
Yep. ETF God. Then that's the name. Lock it in. We'll have to come up with your nickname here too, because this is your second time on, I think, right? Is this two? Okay, one more time and we give you a nickname. Anybody watching, if you have some ideas for Randy's nickname.
That might be back next week.
Oh, perfect. Okay, we'll get that name locked in by then. Eric, by the way, Eric's asking, does Polymarket only accept crypto? My experience, yes, and it's a pain in the ass for now. Like you got to buy USDC and you got to have a little of their token Paul. I think it's Paul now, right? Not Matic. And you got to bridge it over to Polygon. And if you start with Paul, you get swap some for USDC, and then you got to transfer that USDC over to the platform to Polymarket. And if you're in the States, you got to use a VPN.
And that's what we ran into on election night. It was like, okay, yeah, Dad, like let's you could bet. We're talking about place a bet. And I'm like, well, son, you can't do that. And I wasn't in the mood to talk VPNs. Hell, he probably has a VPN for all I know. Like I don't know what all he's up to. He's definitely experimenting, like with technology and all those kids are that age, and I love seeing them into crypto. That's a good sign.
Great sign.
But yeah, like that's kind of the whole point why you need the political landscape to change so we don't have to mess around with not that I have. Not that anybody has, right? So you don't have to mess around with VPNs.
Well, and it helps that I can't remember what state this happened in, but a judge legalized like political prediction markets just a few weeks back. It's very recent, so maybe Polymarket couldn't get the whatever they needed to together.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that.
Yeah. What's that?
What was the news?
The news is they legalized political prediction markets here in the States. So Robinhood enabled one week before the election. Robinhood launched one, and you didn't need a VPN. Yeah, so very, very new. But Polymarket probably
your listeners don't know. Like I get, a huge chunk of my news from Hudah. So it's like I kind of rely on him to make sure I don't miss stuff while I'm plowing forward. Well,
I should probably just share my notes with you too to even help you shortcut it a little bit. We were talking even newsletter beforehand. There's some kind of opportunity there because all the info is all in a Google Doc always, and probably a cool way to package that.
I rarely get Chain Reactor like live. Like when I watch, like it's like on Saturday morning or something. The X replay.
Yeah, I'll tell you what too, and I'll move on quickly. But opportunity here is getting these hour videos edited down to those old 5-minute things I used to do. Somebody just chops those up. Somebody can get all those stories just quick, bite size. That's something I'll be pushing on here. But anyway, let's look at the market. Let's look at Bitcoin. Let's look at crypto. And Randy, I know you're gonna have to bounce any moment. Just whenever you got to go, just say goodbye.
Yeah, like 7 minutes maybe.
Yep. But here we have it. Bitcoin again, really close to all-time high. We almost touched 77. Maybe on some exchanges we did touch 77, but here we are, just over 76K. Looking great. Now we are getting rate cuts, 25 basis points. It's certainly helping. It did drive some of that action and volume yesterday. There's some volume I can't wait to show you here in a moment. But rate cuts coming. Great for the market, of course. And also, we talked about a leaked report. It was probably, 2 weeks ago here. There was a leaked report out of China of some kind of stimulus coming. And here you have it, this $1.4 trillion debt package, allowing them to take on more debt. That's the stimulus. And a lot of thoughts that this also helps drive, you see it right here, people towards Bitcoin, towards some of these riskier assets. It's coming, guys. I think the writing is on the wall as far as what is coming. It's a matter of just how big it'll be. We'll find out. But here's a look at the other cryptos. ETH getting very close to 3K, which is a great number. I know you guys have been bag holding for a while. Hopefully not much longer. No, you know what? I think hold this bad boy for much longer. Not financial advice, but as bullish on ETH as ever. And Solana over $200. Look at this, up 20% in the past week. It's getting very, very spicy out there. I'll say that. Solana hit an all-time high in market cap, which is pretty incredible. People, I mean, everybody's trading meme coins over there, so a lot of demand for that token. But the building over there has been pretty incredible too. Speaking of Nate Geraci here, war on crypto's got to end. It's why people are also so optimistic on what's coming, right? There's the demand there, pro-crypto president, but there is going to be this change at the SEC. We're going to have a more friendly, do we call it an administration? What do we call the SEC? Whatever it's called. I don't know. Much more pro-crypto, not as aggressive against crypto, maybe finally working hand in hand with us, which should be incredible. But it's not going to be, most likely, guys, Hester Pierce as chairwoman of the SEC. She doesn't want it. That's the first time I've heard this, but she does not want that position. Instead, looking like it's possibly the chief legal officer of, I think it's Robinhood, that may be in the lead for that position. So super interesting. Get a crypto native person kind of. Gensler actually is too. Gensler is big time. He's a crypto guy, which might shock people, but he is. But maybe one that, again, a little more friendly here. Now, here's the really exciting news. Again, right up Nate's alley, but you got to put it on your radar. Yesterday was an all-time high for volume in the Bitcoin ETFs. Massive, massive volume. Very specifically here, it's the BlackRock IBIT ETF. Inflows over 1,100. Hang on, let me get my numbers right. I'm trying to do this in my head. I suck with that. It's like 85 million in inflows yesterday in the IBIT ETF, like massive, massive number. So across the board, record volume yesterday, but the BlackRock ETF also set its own record there with inflows. So massive day. And then on the east side, hey, we'll take it. It's not going to match the Bitcoin numbers, but we'll take anything in the positive. And it was a big day there too, about 80 million inflows. Wild day, man. Do you know people who buy crypto via ETFs as opposed to on chain? I always wonder who that speaks to. Who's the buyer of those? I know degens. I know people who are buying on chain, right, through exchanges, but
everybody we want is those are the people we want, that we need to get them into Web3. Like it's one of the, I shouldn't say it's, there's a handful, I should say, of strong on-ramps, but that's clearly one of them. You're talking to your financial advisor, you've got some money, you're certainly not a degen, but you're not, but you like to feel like you're on the cutting edge, like you want to get in on the next hot new thing. They're not going to go learn Uniswap. They're just not. We're in this bubble here, because we live this 24/7. But the rest of the world, like it's in our bubble's grown clearly. But yeah, and I don't think it'll ever. I don't know where I was going with that. So it's everybody else that isn't going to use Uniswap, but they hear it in the news and they want to, they want to return on their capital. They look in their 401k or their retirement plan and it's gone up or down and they want it to go up more. So
yep.
It's that. And there's so much capital there.
So these are guys that have like their monthly meeting with their FA and let's allocate a little to that.
No, or a lot to that.
A lot, yeah.
Some of these people are very, very wealthy. Are again not going to use MetaMask, but they want more return. And if you get your financial advisor saying, "Okay, look, this happened politically or this happened. Well, sure. They change a few numbers, and then the money that was in some ETF or some mutual fund maybe goes to a crypto ETF.
Yep.
They rechange their allocation like that, and now that causes it. Like, that's totally happening, and it has been for a while, and that's what's going to accelerate.
Man, I love it. All right, I know I have you from.
So we need more than just invest in Bitcoin and invest in Ethereum, and you need. Nate would be great to talk about this. How do you invest in the applications? They need an easy way for that too.
Yep. Great points. All right, I'm going to try to blitz through these points so I can keep you for the NFT part. But I got you for a minute. I just want to show you guys though.
Yeah, you got 1 minute. I got to jump.
Okay, the way this stuff is growing, guys. Bitcoin on Solana. Again, we're growing and we're growing wider as we're growing kind of bigger, taller, whatever too. Solana on Ethereum. This is an Ethereum L2 based on Solana. It's just, again, everything everywhere. This is an Ethereum L2. But it's like a Solana L2 on Ethereum.
Okay.
Right? It's just the growth. And to Mark Anderson's point here, it feels like the growth that's coming is just something special, like a very, very prosperous period ahead of us. And a lot of that's going to be happening right here in crypto. So very, very exciting times here. I know you got a boogie, man.
Yeah, I got to go.
Great to chat with you, man. Hope your day is awesome. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Peace. All right. Again, we'll do a lot more of that. I need those guys on here. I just want to chat with them, get their takes as well. Smart fucking dudes. We will continue right now through NFT market, some big sales, and then I think it's fitting we get in the trenches a little bit. I don't know that we're going to be trading live, but I spent some hours in the meme coin trenches last night. It was a freaking blast. Really starting to get a good feel for stuff. I did buy a meme coin yesterday. I'll tell you this. It's a spicy one. It's got my spidey senses tingling. It's like sub 200K market cap too. Okay? So it's super degen, but it's one of those plays if it cooks. Maybe do some damage with that one. We'll get to that in a quick moment here. Looking at NFT volume yesterday, just over 15 mil in sales. And again, clearly you see now we are ramping up. We're almost 2x from just a few days ago, volume-wise. So really great to see that. Expecting a lot more of that to continue, to be honest, just going by vibe. Actually, not even just by vibes, going by numbers here. You see unique sellers going down. Unique buyers too yesterday, but in general, buyers actually kind of ramping up here. Transactions up yesterday too. Average sale price up. Probably means some big NFT sales. That said, I have a feeling, and we'll peek at this when we get to those individual sales, but I think some of those sold at a pretty big loss. We'll see if we can identify maybe one NFT that sold at a pretty big loss here, but there you see it, almost 1.5 mil in the negative yesterday. Today, a much better look, only 200,000 in the negative so far, about halfway through this 24-hour period here. But if you just scroll back and look, down just 200K is actually pretty fantastic, all things considered. So we'll see how we finish. And I am always watching to see when this flips positive, because when it does, that's when you start seeing people tweeting on the timeline about the money they're making in NFTs, and that really does have a snowball effect. So keeping our eyes there. And I peeked at this morning. I do want to show it here real quick. Again, for some perspective, the weekly view here, we have about, let me think here, 60 hours to go in the weekly data period. Pretty hopeful we'll smash last week's numbers, just 71 mil last week, our second lowest week of the year. Have a feeling if we keep up this pace, we'll smash that. How high we finish, hard to say, but keep your eyes on that number. Top collections move in this market, guys. CryptoPunks there at the top, followed by the Bored Ape Yacht Club, D-Market, Pudgy Penguins, Gilded Guardian Heroes, Bitcoin, Puppets, OMB, SMB, Sorare, and then the Mutant Ape Yacht Club rounds out your top 10. Let me just scroll. I just want to see who else is inching closer to the top 10 here. Node Monks, Quantum Cats, Retardio Cousins, of course. Good looking stuff, man. Good looking. Again, this is nothing compared to what bull market NFT bull market looks like, but exciting. Still exciting. Hang on, I want to look through some of these comments here. Cosmos, watch out. Once old money people die and youngsters. Yeah. You know, it's what we've thought all along, that the young people understand digital ownership already. There's no convincing that needs to happen. They just need access to these markets. How often, you guys with kids, how often do your kids ask you to set them up a bank account, when they can get their first debit card, right? They want access to these monetary systems. They're going to want access to crypto. My kids don't ask for crypto accounts or anything yet, even though they have wallets. It's all a matter of time, and I think it lines up very well with, I think, next cycle, depending on the age range, but next cycle, especially for when my kids probably come in and they're in full throttle here. So it's going to get spicy really, really fast. Now, here's your top sales in the past 24 hours. A Bitcoin shroom all the way at the top, $142,000 sale here, guys. We'll peek at that. I want to see if there was a loss taken there, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think that was probably a big-time win. Let's see, though. Okay, 142,000. This may have been the first sale. This was sold probably primary sale a year and a half ago. Who has a shroom? Who remembers what these actually sold for back then? I feel like they were like, geez, were they half a Bitcoin? Were they close to one? These might have been close to one. I'm not entirely sure here, but I think regardless, that's probably well into profit. Significance of shrooms, guys, very low inscription numbers. Very low inscription numbers. I think they're all sub 1,000. But I think some shrooms, and don't quote me on this, but I think some of these shrooms are even sub 100 inscription numbers. So some of the first ever inscriptions ever. And it's why these have so much value here. We have some CryptoPunks on the move here too. The OMBs, we can peek at that if we get to looking at like Magic Eden for floor prices and whatnot. But I think the OMBs are most likely loans. Maybe not. Now that I look at this, I think this is probably the sale price, not a loan price. So this probably is a sale, 1.3 Bitcoin for this. The Autoglyph, I would bet probably 100,000, 99,000 here. That's also probably a loan. Yeah, this OMB is probably a sale too. So interesting. Some of the high-end ordinals are moving hands. Great to see that. Yeah, a bunch more CryptoPunks here. So we always are looking out for runs on CryptoPunks, as we do with XCopy art. We're starting to see the run on CryptoPunks. So great to see that. That's a great leading indicator for the NFT market picking up steam. Man, as our art sales, here's a big one yesterday. In fact, this is probably this is easily the top sale yesterday here. Look at that monster. Here is a Skull of Lucy selling for $283,000, guys. 100 ETH. Man, if you remember these have to do with the Monument game from Sam Spratt. You hold one of these, you get to kind of participate in that artwork. You actually got to leave a little narrative on the artwork itself. That was a piece that sold not this past summer, but the summer before for $750,000 or so. Pretty wild. Look, I'm always blown away when we see big art pieces moving. Again, it's just a sign. It's a sign that people are getting spendy. They are liquid enough, but also they see value in it. And somebody sees value in this piece here to the tune of, again, $283,000. So great to see it. I believe there are 50 Skull of Lucy's. Let's peek, actually. 50 or 100? Let me peek. I'd like to get refreshed on this a bit. Yeah, I think 50 is correct. 49.50. One of these kind of iconic collections at this point. I mean, this will be one of those kind of milestone collections in the NFT roadmap or NFT history books. The Skull of Lucy's are certainly that. Love them. Again, Sam Spratt has really grown into be a legend of this space. In that realm with Beeple and XCopy and Rafiq Anadol, certainly in that class of artist here. So big time sale. Dead Wizard all-time high and Bitcoin Wizards past quantum. Wow, dude. Wow, hang on. We'll peek at that. Actually, let me stop and peek at that real quick, because I want to see if Wizards past Quantum Cats. I want to make sure I'm thinking of the right collection here. Wow, dude. I'm shocked. I wasn't picturing that. Bitcoin Wizards. Dead, I think you got a bunch of those. I'm shocked. I never would have guessed Wizards would flip Quantum Cats. Never. I also wonder why Quantum Cats are pulling back so much, too. Super interesting here. Look at these just on a tear right now. Wow. Man, people, we all had an opportunity to get these pretty darn cheap over the past year here. I mean, yeah, 0.06 just in August. And I mean, earlier in the year, much cheaper than that even. Let's see, going back to, well, a year ago, 0.02, 0.03. Spicy. I'm shocked by that, Dad. Thank you for putting that on the radar. Man, my goodness. Only one. Did you have a bunch and you sold some? That's, dude, super spicy. Sixhole bought his first ETH meme since March. Okay. Yes, be aware that the ETH meme coin ecosystem is going to cook. It's going to cook. It is. There's a little, there's a narrative shift, right? Things swinging back to ETH. The ETH crypto is starting to cook a little bit. A lot of it, actually. But look, all of us, I think at this point, are starting to get in the meme coin ecosystem over on Solana. But there's just this this want for it to reignite over on ETH. It will. It will, because so many people do want it to happen. There's so much liquidity over on ETH. It will happen. And seeing somebody like Sixhole buying some meme coins over on ETH is just one of those signs that it's maybe starting now. Maybe starting now, guys. So I know personally I got to maybe swap some Sol for ETH, maybe, and be ready for it. In fact, might be kind of the time to be getting into it now, getting some positions. There we go. There we see. Okay, that shroom that sold is inscription number 50. As in, 45. As in a sub 50 inscription. One of the first ever inscriptions on Bitcoin. You can kind of call it historic. I don't put a lot of stock into early inscriptions. Let's say like sub 10K I don't think matters a ton. Sub 5K, matters to a small degree. But you start getting sub 1,000, I think it matters a bit. As far as what does a collector want? If somebody wants a little stake, a little piece of history, and wants an early inscription, one of the first ever ordinals, where do they start looking? Sub 1K, I think they start looking, but absolutely sub 100 ordinals. Sub 100 inscriptions, absolutely. A lot of value in those for sure. And again, the lower you get there, the more they're worth. So a sub 50 inscription, it's a lot of why that's getting the price, fetching the price it just did. Really cool to see. We had another very nice die with the most like sale yesterday too. Here's a 17.69 ETH. We saw just last week one right around 16 ETH. That was our boy Walshy who sold that piece. And early in the year sold one on Tezos for about 40,000. Die with the most likes, certainly making waves here. And again, it's great seeing art selling. I did after the show yesterday, guys, that Zancan piece I'd put up. I did buy it after the show. There's no more listed now. It was a 15 edition Zancan for $250. People are kind of sleeping on Tezos. It's like Jared was saying yesterday on the show, kind of sleeping on Tezos because of how Tezos has gone for the past, I don't know, year and a half. So it makes sense why people are kind of fading it, but also it will come back. The art scene, we will have an art meta again, and people will go search for those art grails on Tezos, and man, oh man, oh man. Bang, let me see what you were talking about. Not sure what I talked about yet. What specifically there? Solana all-time high in market cap. Is that what you're referring to, man? I think so. Let me know if that's what it was. Staying in NFTs, guys. Magic Eden is now integrating Say NFTs, which I love, man. I really, really, really like the Say ecosystem. I do. I like the people over there. It's mostly the community, I'll say that. I really like the Say community. Of course, Nifty Q and Biggie Poppins, just great friends. I love these guys. I love them. And they have one of, if not the biggest show on Say with Say What. I think that comes up here in about an hour and 15 minutes. Every morning, Monday through Friday, they've got a killer spaces. You should certainly be checking that out if you're interested in the Say ecosystem. Going to get those guys on this show. And they're so nice. They let me come up there kind of whenever too, but really, really great friends. So great to see this, especially for them, for the community there. But yes, Say NFTs on Magic Eden. Let me peek. Is that integrated yet? No. It doesn't look like it's integrated yet. When it is, man, I hope it's great for the Say bags, especially if you got them. Talking things like Dob and Colony, and what are some of the other big Say NFT collections? Say-ins. Some great stuff over there, so we'll see if those catch a bid. I think they will. Especially with that token we talked about yesterday, G3. A token that lets you buy any NFT on any EVM chain. It's really nice. Makes these things really accessible. Oh, look at that. A little, is that Barachain right here? I don't know if you guys can see this here. Yeah, there we go. Coming soon. There's Barachain. So locked and loaded here. Not live yet, but coming really soon. And just expect Say to pop up here at any point. We got some big blockchains launching, guys. Don't forget, we have Abstract probably launching imminently. Any moment, I think Abstract launches. Barachain, like you see here. Monad launching soon. It's going to get very competitive. It's going to get very fun, though. Great for our bags. Now, the G3 token gets me more and more excited. Not for the G3 token, but for the ME token. It does. Because, like we've talked about, I think that is similar as far as being able to use a token to buy anything across ecosystems. I think you're going to do the same with the ME token. So, guys, in 10 days, we're going to get tokenomics for ME. I hope we get details about when that claim goes live, how many diamonds equal how many tokens, right? I think everybody's going to get a nice stimmy then. I'm not selling any. There's maybe nothing I'm more bullish on than that ME token. So I'm a buyer of ME when it's live. In fact, it's on pre-markets now. But that's going to be a special, special drop. And again, details coming in 10 days here. Okay, bang, yeah. So the Solana, it's a great point you bring up there. Solana all-time high is not in price, it's in market cap. And so Bang saying, what does that mean? I think you said that means they're printing SOL, basically, right? Yeah, printing a lot of SOL. That was one thing that's always kept me, I don't want to say tentative on SOL, but I'll tell you this, I don't understand the tokenomics over there. I don't know when they can print more SOL. I don't know what the emissions look like. I don't know how frequently they print more SOL. I don't know. Yeah, Captain. And I've heard some not so bullish statements about that too, about the Solana supply. Like very controlled. So I don't know. You know, it's like I buy it because I try to feel momentum, right? But as far as knowing when more tokens are printed and what that means for price, I don't know. So I'm always very cautious with SOL. Something like ETH's different. I think we know how they're created in Bitcoin, especially. We know, how they're created. We know what the supply is. I don't think we do on Solana. I could be wrong here, guys. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So always a little worried about SOL. That said, you can't argue with how it's performing. So there you go. All right, when we talk about those tokens and the ease of use and being able to spend it on this chain or that chain, that's the future of NFTs. And that's exciting to me. And we do get to the point where I think the chain that you're on matters less and less and less. It's why I am bullish on Tezos NFTs. I do think at some point it doesn't matter a ton that it's on Tezos. Just like I don't think it matters a ton that X copy last piece, Cope Salata, I don't think it matters a ton that it's on Shape. Clearly it's holding some value around 2 ETH for that. But that liquidity on any chain is going to work on any chain. So whether it's the ME token or something like this, a token standard on ETH that lets your liquidity really follow you across these L2s. Really awesome. Blast here announcing support for the ERC 7683. So your ETH over on Arbitrum or on Base, or I would assume Ethereum as well, without having the bridge, carries right on over to the Blast blockchain. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Marco, Monad will be... Yeah, I think Monad cooks. Look, Monad's got... it's half about attention, and Monad's got Thread Guy, right, on the payroll. So Bull posting about Monad, right? Monad will get some energy just for that alone. They get big influencers that'll be pushing it. Monad should cook too. So I forgot to mention. I'm glad you mentioned here. Monad, another big chain that's launching. That'll certainly be splashy. A lot of big blockchains coming, guys. 6-hole your eye is on Barachain, top 10 in terms of community development and loyalty, and they already have NFTs that are fetching a fortune. Those bear NFTs, and I can't remember the name of them, but those bear NFTs cooking over there. And you see big names chasing those down. We're talking double-digit ETH on those. So, yeah, Barachain certainly one to be watching here. A couple other quick stories, and then I want to get to some meme coins here. I want to drop the token that I got into yesterday. Again, super degen play, super low market cap, very bundled, as in... a few holders holding a huge chunk of the supply. It's not the worst thing in the world. We saw that on Nero. We see that in many top tokens. So I don't think it's the worst thing in the world now seeing these tokens bundled. It matters who's holding them. So we'll get into that in a moment. Yesterday announcement that the crypto fight week is coming up in less than a month here. We're going to have BitBoy versus Ansem in a boxing match. I can't wait for that. I normally wouldn't. I normally wouldn't care, but who doesn't want to see BitBoy and Ansem both get punched in the face a bit? It should be incredible. I thought actually Andrew Tate was fighting BitBoy. Just quickly looking at this screenshot. But no, that's not the case. Sponsored by the Daddy Token. Andrew Tate does have a little involvement here too. He does. In fact, I think he's offering let's see if we can find this. Probably gonna be impossible to navigate his tweets, but he put basically $100,000 bounty out there. What was it? I think he's gonna give BitBoy $100,000. Is it if he knocks Ansem out? Something like it, dude. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a big old spectacle. Certainly gonna be streaming that bad boy. Yeah, there we go. Extra $100,000 if he knocks out Ansem. There we go. Man, come on, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Bang. Why worried about? Is that ETH? Why worried about ETH? Oh, I'm sorry. This was a Marco comment. More worried about ETH, to be honest, than Solana. I get that sentiment, but I think playing the long game on ETH and man, the RWAs and these funds that are coming over to ETH, I think ETH as a token itself just cooks. I mean, sentiment couldn't be lower. It couldn't be. It really couldn't be. And it's looking primed to do something special here coming up. All right, we'll do meme coins. Let's just peek real quick at floor prices on NFTs. Starting with Solana. Mixed bag over here. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, guys. Over on Bitcoin. I do want to peek into Quantum Cats, feel why that's moving the way it is. Although Quantum Cat's tiny supply, 3,300, right? It moves pretty drastically down and up. And I always say here with Quantum Cats, when it moves up, it's going to move up quick, fast, violently. Tiny collection. Guys like me that hold them with I have no intention to sell till we're in the 1 to 2 Bitcoin range. No intention. So these move fast. They will. They can move faster than a 10K collection like Node Monks and Puppets. But yeah, it is really cool seeing Wizards cook the way they are. Really cool. Obviously bullish as hell on Based Angels. I'm pumping my bags a little, but whatever. I'm not selling. And on the ETH side, looking okay over here too. Pudgy Penguin's up. CryptoPunk's up. I'm keeping my eye on punks, by the way. Like, really, I mean, we saw some of these selling in the low 20 ETH range, 23 or so, 24. Would love to see those back over 30. Of course, it'll be very splashy news when they're back over even 40, and they will be over 40 this cycle. They will. Bored Apes at 10.7 ETH, Milady 4.4. Let me extend that. I just want to see how the Cult NFT, Sproto Gremlins, Project Eon, how those are looking. There we go. Project Eon still 1.5 ETH. Where's our Sproto Gremlins? There we go. 2.75. Yeah, I try to peek at crypto dick butts often too, because those feel like one of the OG cults over on ETH. They do. They very much have that kind of vibe. From years ago. Always liked these guys. Always wanted one too. On my short list. Oh, yeah, let's peek at Experiment 9. An ETH collection. I've seen that pop up a few times here. I'm pretty sure on ETH, right? Yeah, let's peek at that real quick. Or is that a Bitcoin collection? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Marco, did you tag me in a tweet about these this morning? That's where I saw it. That's where it popped up. I gotta say, I don't know much about them other than they look super cool. And really, really solid floor price here too. Small collection, 420. Okay, I like them. I like them. These are minted out, I'm assuming, right? Oh, shit. Okay. Dude, I'm a little scatterbrained today, huh? A little all over the place, which is great. It's bull market vibes here. Dead shouting out Pond. Let's peek there real quick. Pond is at 99.9% for spawning. That's coming this weekend. I'm pretty sure about this, right? Hang on. Who was it? It wasn't Pauly. I'm trying to remember one of those other guys in that crew. Something Edgar. What's his name? Or maybe it was H Wonder. Somebody tweeted that something's coming this weekend. I have a feeling spawning is going to go live maybe tonight, but maybe sometime this weekend. I think we're going to get rained on some tokens, which is awesome. Some Mog and some Pork. $2.4 million worth. I think that's what's coming here. We've been watching this for a while, right, guys? I know a lot of you have been mining here, too. It seems like spawning is going to come very soon. I do think it's this weekend. Yeah, it might have been H Wonder. It might have been H Wonder. Frankie Edgar is the other guy I was thinking of. One of them had tweeted, though, that something about the weekend. So just trying to read between the lines. I have a feeling it'll be spawning coming, which is great stuff. All right, let's peek over at Meme Scope. Hours last night I spent just looking, staring. And I'll tell you this. Maybe not the best place for alpha, although I kind of think it was. You're starting to see streamers like Thread Guy. Troy, I hope you do too, man. I know you've been mining. I hope you do well there. We're starting to see some really good streams. Even if this is not your cup of tea, I recommend tuning into these. Thread Guy with Frank, with Rasmer, and that crew, right? Streaming live while they talk meme coins and they trade meme coins. They pull up something like Meme Scope. And I'll tell you this, it's great to tune into this to listen to what they're talking. Like, don't buy everything they're saying, but listen to them. There are some words of wisdom in what they're sharing here live, at least how they look at stuff. So a bit about their approach, what they buy, what they look for, when they buy. Right? I wouldn't say follow everything they're saying as in don't buy something just because they say it, but listen to their approach to how they trade. And so last night there was a really interesting live stream with Jakey. Like, what's his name? Jakey Soul Jakey, whatever his name is. Ming Dynasty and Mark Cooler. And their video guy. They did a live stream yesterday. I tuned in. I didn't even know what they were talking about. But I tuned in, just clicked on it, listened, and I'm like, oh, wait. They're literally doing what we're going to be doing. They have Meme Scope pulled up, and they're talking about just trading and approach and what they're looking for. And I'm like, okay, let me listen. Because sometimes I want to hear, am I on the right track? Am I even doing it right? And I think we've got a good batting average here for getting in really big coins decently early. But I'm like, what are these guys doing? Guys who talk this game like they've been in some of these sub 500K, sub 100K market cap tokens, and they cook off them. What are they doing? What are they looking for? And I'll tell you this, I think I learned a lot from them yesterday. I learned that they're doing, I think, what we're doing. I don't think they're playing a different game. They've done it longer. They're more dialed in, but they're doing what we're doing. And it's as simple as sitting here and just watching and watching and watching. And it's stuff we've talked about. It's sitting and watching till something stands out. You're doing it the right way, guys. If you're doing that, you're doing it the right way. Now it's trying to figure out why it stands out and what kind of potential it has. And are you early enough to be going into that token, or did you already miss it? It's fine-tuning that part of the game. But if you're here looking and watching and sometimes just degenning in and hoping, crossing your fingers, you're not far off from how they're doing it. They're just doing it more, and eventually they're going in bigger and harder in those positions, but you're doing it the right way. So that was great to hear. And so I'm watching them live, and they're just looking at tokens, and they'll pull up random token that maybe somebody shouts out the ticker in the chat, or maybe it was on their radar, and they'll pull it up, and they'll look. And Ming Dynasty in particular has got great insights. I like that guy a lot. And he'll look at it, and as Jakey's trying to figure out what's what and if he should go in, Ming's being like, dude, turn your brain off. Like, don't overthink this stuff. You don't need logic. Look at the meme. Is it fun? Do you picture that meme being fun in 2 weeks? Right? It's like, that's the thought process to get into. Look, they're very much about checking the socials. It's so important. Check the socials. Check the meme. Is it funny? Is it clever? Does it have good engagement? Again, all the stuff I think you're doing already. It's the right approach to this stuff. Just keep in mind, let's say you have a night of degenning and you may get one token that really stands out and is different. There's some nights you're going to be watching and nothing is different. And you may try to force a trade. But realize that not every night is a winner. Even if you do see something move, right? There's something that's up 2,000%, right? Not every night there's something born that is just like next level different. But you're doing it the right way, and that was ultimately the takeaway. A couple tokens that they were looking at yesterday, God did. So we'll pull these up just to kind of go through the thought process. And I'm trying to remember, I think God did was being looked at around here. Somewhere in this ballpark. Very simply liked the term. That I'm telling you, dudes, it's not that much deeper than that. Like the term, I never even looked at the TikTok video to see what that, like what's the meme, or is it a person or what? Like the term, holder count was going up, market cap was low enough. At that point, they weren't buying in because at that point it was already past that, a couple initial pumps. I'm telling you, it was that simple. That's what they were looking at. Now, while we're live, and I want to make sure you get this too, as far as why these move sometimes and how quickly they move, as we're watching, the video guy, I think his name's Colton, saw a meme pop up in here, and it's called Mothman. And I think it had about a $40,000, $50,000 market cap. And he's like, hey, click on that one. Let's just peek at it. Yeah, let's peek at Mothman is how that one went. And that was somewhere probably right around here. Pull it up. Let's peek at it. Go to the socials. And you see this guy. I'm telling you, man, it's that simple. They liked it. It was silly. He thought it was fun. Boom. All of a sudden this. All of a sudden from a $50,000, $60,000 market cap up to a $600,000 market cap. Because those guys talked about it on a live stream. And the people watching the live stream rushed into it because they talked like they liked it. It gets shared in some alpha groups, pumps it up to 600K. And I'm telling you this, man, within 10 minutes, it was done. That's the game a lot of times here, guys. If you're in the trenches saying, I'm trading tonight, that's the game, and that's how quick you have to be. Most of these tokens are not buy it and sit on it for even a day. It's buy it and sit on it for 5 minutes. And if that's not how you're approaching these things, that you're in and out, you're probably going to get wrecked more often than not. Again, that's exactly what happened to Mothman. Seeing how it works live, I'm sure you've seen before, but seeing how it works live, a show with a big audience talks about it, it pumps, and then over. And then it's completely over. It's completely dead. And you have 400 people now that are bag holding this. If you can see that there, 400 holders. This is not coming back. And how many times are we on that side? You buy it because you think it's going to be the next hot thing, and it's never coming back. So understand some of these things, and I would say most of them only pump because the right person at the right time talked about it. Audience buys into it. The guys who got in very early dumped their tokens, and it's done. That's the pace. That's the flow of most 99.9999% of these things. That's all they are. That's all they're doing. And that's exactly how you should be playing them. So then your goal, guys, is to sit on MemeScope and think that that's how they're all going to run. Think of it. Just pretend that's how every single token will run. You just got to find it before they find it and talk about it on their show and share it in their alpha groups. You got to sit on these things on this page and watch for what meme stands out. What's a little funnier than the rest? Not even a little funnier. It's got to be a lot funnier because they're mostly all copycats. You get little varieties like, oh, it's a clever enough new take on it, but you need something that really stands out. Like it's very different. That's the game. And then you get the outliers. You get the Luches and you get the Moodangs and you get, these other things that really, they become next level, right? Those are going to happen. Maybe you miss those all the time. Maybe you get good at seeing those early too, because that is a skill. By the way, what is this cat cinema shit? What are all these cat cinema tokens? Like, to me, that stands out all of a sudden that there must be a cat cinema token that's cooking somewhere that now all of a sudden there's a bunch of copycats maybe. That stands out, just the number of these cat cinema tokens all of a sudden. I don't know. I don't know what they are at all. But that's what you want to do, is just keep watching for when something weird happens. And hopefully it's good weird. Okay, here's a cat. Just lost it. Here's a cat cinema. Maybe it's a display issue. Maybe they're all the same thing. I don't know. I'm gonna put that on my watch list and we'll come back. This is a $30,000 market cap. I'm sure this is dead in 5 minutes. But we'll see if that runs. You gotta sit and watch these. See what stands out. Now, yesterday they were also looking at a token that I did buy into that did stand out because it was a fresh-ish meme that was kind of funny. And it did look different from the rest of the garbage. It's all garbage, right? Just kind of boring memes. Like, it's a lot of just normal kind of people just trying to make something clever and funny. Most people are not clever and funny, by the way. Most people are not funny. Yeah, this looks... I don't know if we got a little display issue that it's like duplicating all these coins, right? Like 3 max coins and all these cat cinemas and all these border tokens. There might be a little issue with the site. I'm not sure. So be aware of that. Yeah, another fourth one here. Something's weird. Something feels weird here. Okay. So Mothman did its thing. I got a 3x out of Mothman. They talked about it. I saw it with them. I also thought it was funny-ish. It's not even that funny, but it was like, all right, it felt a little fresher than the rest of the stuff there. Bought a little. As soon as people started pumping that thing, I'm out. I know it's going to be dead in 10 minutes, and it was. But another token called Hudah Sip and Lean. Now, this one caught my attention in a different way. And you can see the chart actually looks better than a lot of the others. Not dead in 30 minutes, but a pretty solid run up here. A couple pumps. For a shitter, a sub 200K market cap shitter, that looks kind of okay. And I think this one actually has a lot more potential than most of these others. And I'll pull up the social media account. Again, this one I am in. And I'm probably going to get a little deeper into it. A little bit. I'm not going to go crazy. I think I've got like 0.7 sold. That's what I'm playing with. Not a ton. But also, you get this to $1 million market cap. I'm going to be pretty happy with that. Brand new meme coin. Doesn't have a lot of people in yet. Doesn't have any big followers yet. But Ming Dynasty, who I said I really like the guy. Love the meme. Right? The guys are talking about they like the meme a lot. And it is funny. And it is an ActiveX account. As of the past day when it started. I think it's a funny enough meme. Hudah Sip and Lean. And for a small token, get an engagement. You'll get the feel for what engagement is the correct amount, a good amount for a small token. You'll get a feel for that. Me seeing double-digit likes on these things is a really, really good start, and I keep watching for that to keep increasing. And I'll be watching that over the next few days. But seeing them posting regularly these really simple memes, like really, really basic, I'm going to be watching to see if those memes get better quality, funnier. And I'm watching to see if the engagement goes up, and it sure as shit looks like it is. Right? Starting with 10 likes and then getting up to 50 earlier this morning. 70 here. Right? It's little things, and they might sound silly and meaningless, but they're not meaningless. It's just one of those things you got to be watching for. And this one looks like it has potential. And maybe that's all I want to say about it. It looks like it has potential because it is a fresh meme. It is kind of funny. It is a little different. And then when you have it shilled on that show or talked about on that show, and you have a guy like Ming saying he likes it, he thinks it's a great meme, and he compares it to smoking chicken fish. It's so different. It's so out there. And when you think of that and you look through how many of these things out here are just so boring and cookie cutter and try hard, and they're not funny. Like, they're just not, most of these are not fucking funny at all. Clever in any way, nothing. When you start looking and you're like, oh, this is all so lame, it's why something like Hudah Sip and Lean really does start standing out. And so to me, it did. To me, Hudah Sip and Lean standing out. And so I'm in. And I'm gonna gamble on that one. I'll pull up the chart again here. I'm gonna gamble on it. I'm hoping this one hits a couple $1 million market cap, and it may never. Because this is bundled. This is very, very insider held, not the right word, but a few people holding a ton of these, right? But that's every token now. It's every token. If they can hold, and this is the gamble, if those guys can hold and not dump on you, it being chilled on that show and it being a fresh enough meme and getting that action, it could be fun. This could be one of those fun ones. So I'm in. I'm going to ride this one to a couple mil, and I'll take my initials out there because at that point I'll be even, and I'll leave half of it or so as a moon bag, maybe a little less. I don't know. This is not, I don't think, the next smoking chicken fish, by the way. This is not the next mood egg. This is not the next any of those things. But is it one of those tokens that gets to 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 mil market cap in a super hot meme coin cycle? It looks better than 99% of the other meme coins I've seen. Now it's just crossing my fingers and hoping the big holders are not dumping this. And again, there are some big holders. There's some big time holders here, right? A lot of that supply locked up between even just this person here, 5% of the supply, 50 million tokens. He could kill it. This could be dead in a minute here if that guy just dumps everything. If that guy just says, I want to make 42 grand right now, right? He could do that. He could basically do that. But I'm hoping, and that's the chance, I'm hoping this is one he just holds and something special happens. We've seen this Key Dog. Key Dog, I was in 100K market cap, 200K market cap. It's a $10 million token now. Might be higher. There's been multiple tokens I've been in 100K, 200K market cap, and they get to a few million. This feels like those. And you're still at the mercy of those top holders. So regardless, you could check all those boxes, and if they dump, you're at zero. So and you have no control over that. That's the gamble here. Yeah, Justin, right? Yeah. This one is not, it's not doing what the other tokens do, which is dump instantly. If that would have happened, look, it probably would have happened in this first run-up or the second run-up, and it did, but this is where it being shilled on that show and growing its holder count came and saved it, and the fact that it just slow grinded up since then, yeah, this one is different. I can tell you that just from looking at these enough, this one is different. Doesn't mean we're retiring off it, but this one's different. So yeah, I'm in. Super degen. Really funny meme. And then you can start then thinking about other parts, other things to bolster your conviction. Star Wars. It's a Star Wars meme. Star Wars also had a sentiment low, but just announced a new trilogy. If news comes out that actually gets the Star Wars community excited, actually gets the degens and nerds in this space who they like Star Wars. If it actually gets people excited for that, it's just another thing. It's just another thing that can send it. And you start then looking for many things that add up to why this thing could cook. Like Luce, it's got the tie to the Vatican, and it's got the Milady tie, right? Luce sends for those reasons too. Justin, yes. You never know, but also, yeah. Look, those guys like Ming or Jakey who throw 100 soul into their plays, I put in 0.7, and I'm hoping to 10 exit. I'm hoping to 20 or 30 exit. Those guys that put in 100 soul at this level, right? You are the guys who could retire off this stuff. Anybody who's going in harder, and those guys did what I'm doing, the slow grind to get that bag to go harder into this stuff. Yep. Yeah, bang, right? Yeah, I think we're seeing the same thing. It's just a little different. It's a little more clever. It's a little funny. All those things. And again, I used to think that's not enough to just be a little funny or whatever. But when I look at this so long that I see how lame and unoriginal everything else is, maybe once a week you get something more original. So after enough time looking and seeing just how lame it all is, I'm like, okay, yeah. YSL is it's worthy of 0.7 soul for me. It could be 0.1 soul, 0.5, it could be 5. So whatever is your number where you're okay with that going to 0, it's worth that because it is just the littlest bit different. What is this? Church of Meme. It's probably one that I look at and I'm like, not different enough. Don't know. This is something I'll be fine-tuning is learning to really separate the really original ones. But again, you put the time in, they will definitely start separating for you. And then once you unlock that skill, boy, oh boy, is that a skill that's just going to translate to a lot of money in the meme coin cycle and then the NFT cycle too. It's a skill you'll just learn to fine-tune for each ecosystem, but it's one of the best skills you could have here in this space. Just learning how to see these things. So yeah, YSL, cool. Sigma, it probably is, and that's how I go into these operating that way, right? I'll put in whatever I'm willing to have go to 0, and I'm playing this 5% chance, maybe 1% chance that it actually actually cooks. And very much could go to zero because those holders. It very much could. And yeah, I don't even like how it looks right here. I don't. But that's why you get in some of the majors. Then hopefully within the past few weeks, you've been adding to GOAT and Moodang and things that are, for a meme coin, a little more stable, a little more, safer returns, as safe as you can be on a meme coin. And these are the super gambles. And you got to take some of those gambles if you want to do some damage. So we'll see how that plays out. Should be fun. At the very least, should be fun. Skin in the game, fine-tune the skills. That's the goal here. All right, guys. I hope your day is fan-freaking-tastic. Let's peek at Bitcoin while I'm making my exit here. We got the afternoon show coming up at 4:30 p.m. Eastern today. I think we might have a special guest today. We might. Not a huge name, not a huge thing. Sigma, let me peek at that, Ross Pepe. What do you need, Justin? What do you need? What do you need? A third show? Oh yeah. Well, hey, Chris, aka Hustle Hat, will be live here, and I think in about an hour. I don't know what he's covering today, but we got that. And yes, there will be even more shows, which would be cool. So we do have things cooking in that regard here. So be on the lookout again with all these announcements coming. I don't think we have a new show announcement yet. But yeah. We'll have a good full lineup for you guys. It's definitely part of the plans here. Okay, things looking good. Solid footing right now. I did see some talk out there that we're in an interesting zone where there's a whole bunch of longs that could be liquidated here if Bitcoin and crypto in general nukes. I wouldn't be shocked here, right? This PvP game that is always going on, so be aware of that. But regardless, I think we're in for some exciting times right here, right now. So good shit. Guys, enjoy your day. We'll see you in a few hours on the afternoon show. We'll freaking see you. Peace, guys.